if January and the new year wasn't like this time that we had to overhaul your entire life? What if you could start the new year and just be clear? Like, have the clarity, feel good and in alignment instead of pressure and urgency. If the new year energy makes you feel like you're behind before you even begin, and if you're tired of trying to fix yourself and your life every January, or if you're coming into the new year already overwhelmed, this episode is gonna be for you. If we haven't met yet, I'm Amy Circa, money confidence coach and bookkeeper. Over the last 13 years, I've helped over 1,250 women get out of survival mode and make money simple so they can feel safe, clear, and confident with their finances. No shame, no restriction, and definitely no giving up your coffee to get there. Welcome back to our final episode of 2025, and we are talking about productivity because this time of the year, with New Year's pressure, everyone is like, set big goals, do more, create your vision board, start stronger, create the new habit, be disciplined. And if you're already carrying the emotional load of life and entrepreneurial burnout and juggling all the things, that pressure isn't motivating. Like, you end up that you shut down. Maybe you can get hyped up for a minute, but it's not sustainable and we shut down. And before we go any farther, I need you to remember, you're not a project to fix. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. And you do not have to go into January trying to become a different version of yourself overnight. And you might not need a different version of yourself at all. So today we're going to get into like a productivity principle, because productivity has kind of been sold as doing more, you get more done, you're going to work harder, we're going to add more goals, and we're going to create more momentum. And you might get more momentum, but sustainable productivity has a lot more to do with energy management, capacity awareness, clarity, and return on energy. Because when you simplify what you're doing, we can multiply your results. We don't necessarily have to be doing it all, okay? And this principle is the core of my unstoppable productivity that lives inside the Unstoppable experience. And it's built around these principles, and we're going to talk about like the main one today. And it's the thing that a lot of productivity systems, when you buy them, they try to fit you into their system, which is why we talk principles here, because it's your life and it should be customized to you. Okay, so your brain was never designed to store everything you're trying to hold. You've got ideas, you've got work-related tasks that you need to do. There's a kid's birthday party next week that you've forgotten about that you got to buy a gift for, and then you got to remember how are you going to get everybody to there. You've got this reminder coming up. There's loose ends, and oh yeah, you had to get that client project taken care of. You're trying to keep it all in your head, and you feel overwhelmed, not because like you're not productive. It's because you're juggling all the balls inside your head. So we're going to do something really simple. This principle, okay? We're going to create a system to get it out of your head, okay? And this can be whatever. This can be a pen and paper, but like make it a specific pen and paper. You can't just like write on random sticky notes, because you're going to have sticky notes everywhere, okay? This could be a notes app on your phone. This could be a to-do list on your AI. This could be a document. This could be in ClickUp, like a project management software. You can have a business one. You can do personal, Google Tasks. Like, we've got to get it out of your head. This is it. We're not planning. We're not organizing. You're not even prioritizing. It's when something comes to your remembrance that you're going to have to do, it can't stay in your head. We've got to release the mental load that you were carrying. And I know you've got a lot going on. You're still going to have that mental load that you're carrying, but the pressure of trying to remember all the little freaking things that you got to remember, that's the part that we got to get out, okay? Now, end of the year like this is a really powerful time, I think, just to brain dump in general. Like, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what do you love, what's not, so you can just go into that. And if you are somebody who likes to talk it out, like voice note on your phone or write it out. It can be big things. It can be little things. It's don't forget this items, like whatever, those things, right? We've got to have a system, okay? So this might evolve over time. I know mine for sure has. But like my personal system, I have a personal one and a business one. Sometimes the business stuff goes on the personal because it's easier. Personal one is a Google task list, and actually I have several different Google tasks, but I have a Google task list that's called daily actions. And when I remember something that needs to be handled, it goes on the Google task list. I've got it pinned on my phone, like there on the front. Okay? I can get to it from my computer. I can get to it from my phone. I've tried things before, like keeping the to-do list on my Alexa here. And the problem with that was, like, I would add the things to the to-do list, and it worked great because I could do it like hands-free. I could just verbally tell her to do that. The problem was it was stopping there. I didn't have anything in my system. I didn't have that habit trained to go check the to-do list and move things off of it. So things were still getting missed because it was just on the to-do list. So we need to have something that's going to work for you when you're at home and when you're on the go. That's why I like the Google Task for my personal. For the business side, we've done a couple different things. I've had specific notes for business. Right now, I have my project management software, which is ClickUp. So I've got that there. If it's something that I can add into ClickUp, then we do it there. But if it's a podcast idea or if it's a social media post, I end up that I email myself right now. I've also discovered if I don't move on that content in like the next couple weeks, I don't come back to it. So then I'm releasing the pressure from myself to feel like I need to come back. Because again, we have infinite ideas. It's almost like it's not a lack, but it almost was like a lack. And I realized like I'm not going back. So keeping a massive content bank of all these ideas that I've had that I haven't moved on, like that wasn't serving me because it wasn't doing any good. So we need to create a system. This is like your one task to go into the new year. And it's going to make everything else so much more effective because you're going to be able to breathe. You've got things handled. Take a breath, take rest. So what feels good? Is it pen and paper? I still use my paper calendar, which again is inside Unstoppable Productivity. I showed the weekly planning sheet for those of you who are watching on YouTube. But much more of my system is digital now because that's the way that I operate. I still have things that I track and I'll update once a week on the paper because I like to see it on pen and paper. But for my on-the-go life, I needed the electronic. Because then if I had 10 minutes to work on something, I needed to be able to know what I needed to work on. And it couldn't be like, oh, that's at home. Can't get anything done. And then you spend the time trying to figure out what you need to get done. And when you have an idea, you need to be able to write it down. We need to be able to move it. Okay? Once we get all of these things outside of your head, you're going to be able to see. And even just like writing it down, you're going to be able to see like, okay, does this actually matter? Does this not matter? Is it something that feels like a yes, it feels aligned, or if that's like a or is it this is not right now, this can wait? The clarity here isn't from planning it all out and creating a detailed plan that we're probably not going to keep, and then you create more resistance because you're not staying on top of it. Clarity comes because you're not trying to carry it all alone, even if it's just a system. Okay? And if you've done all of that and you're like, okay, yeah, I got that, Amy. What's next? What's the smallest, like, what's the next step that would make you feel successful today? That would make you feel supported today? There are some people who can plan out their whole year, their next 3 to 5 years, the next quarter. But if you are not that person, don't feel that pressure. One small step. What's the next doable, grounded action that moves you forward? Because if you are in a place of stress and fear and overwhelm, you can't implement the 47-step plan. But you can stop carrying it all mentally and choose one next step. All right, this is like our little mini series finale. We started with talking about your choices and how to make choices from clarity instead of pressure. Then we talked about your revenue clarity number, what to focus on your business so that there wasn't more overwhelm. And then we talked about your personal finances and how to regulate with your personal finances and a quick action step principle here to get into momentum. Then we talked about your bookkeeping, how to get clear on that without the shame. So if you are looking for a place to kind of center from before we go into the new year, I would watch or listen to some of those episodes if you missed some. The goal here is new year, but a more grounded, more supported, more aligned version of you. It doesn't necessarily need to be a new year, new you. Again, no discipline. We're not forcing. There's no guilt and shame. We're stepping into the aligned version and helping you feel safe to actually do the things that we need to do. Because you know what to do, right? We know what to do. We're just not doing it. So this is helping you to actually do the things that we know we want to do and be the version of you that you want to be while you do it. Okay, so if productivity has felt overwhelming, emotional, or heavy, again, it's not because you don't know what to do or you don't have the discipline to do it. It's because you've been carrying too much for too long. So if you want support creating internal clarity, emotional safety, and be able to follow through in a grounded way, the Money Mindset Playbook is a beautiful next step. That is my free private podcast and PDF guide that helps you shift the patterns underneath procrastination, avoidance, burnout, the financial yo-yo, all the things, right? And these principles help you be aligned so then again the productivity actually feels possible. So you can grab that at amycirca.com/mindset. Of course, that link is going to be hanging out in the show notes for you as well. Remember, you've got this and I've got you. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.